Welcome back to Final Fantathon, our quest to casually let's play every mainline Final Fantasy game plus some bonuses. Thank you so much for coming back. Hope you had a very fantastic week. We certainly did. It was a crazy week. We got a lot to talk about. It was definitely a time. And actually, it works out because if I remember correctly, which, apologies if I don't, because this is like, oh god, controller please. This is like the craziest week, so if I forget, apologies, but I think what our plan was to go down here and grind the big giant dudes and make a bunch of money. I forget what it was we wanted to buy, but there was something we wanted to buy. And then we have to do this stupid side quest with the wood. Someone posted a comment. They were like, you spent all this time finally getting to the capital. It's like the longest journey in the game to get up to the capital. You finally get there, and then they're like, have you heard of the wood? The special wood? Yeah, that's kind of how this whole game goes. Like, it constantly stops you to do some menial task. It's kind of a problem. So anyways, this was a crazy week. We've been playing Crisis Core Reunion all week. It's really good. But we've been talking a lot about like Square Enix in general this week as well. Just because there's a lot going on with them. And actually, before I even talk about that, I have to talk about this. I got a care package from the community, from Solid and a bunch of other people in the community. And I got a whole bunch of cool stuff. I can't even show it all because it's too much. Like this Final Fantasy XII sauce mod soundtrack. But I wanted to specifically thank everyone for the binder of the letters. A bunch of people in the community wrote letters to me and put them in this binder. And I was just like overwhelmed with love from this binder. So anyone that was a part of this, thank you so much. If I didn't catch you the day we opened it and you're here now, thank you so much for that. I was like just completely overwhelmed with the love from that. And it was such a joy to read through all of them. So yeah, that was part of the reason why the week was crazy. But yeah, so like I said, we played through Crisis Core. We're not done with it yet. We finished the game, but we got to do the post game. And without spoiling anything, it's pretty good. At least in terms of remasters, it's good. Why did everyone stop attacking? Oh, because their gambits are off, that's why. Everything's fine. We're alive. Yeah, so the thing about it is, like, there's not much new, obviously. It's really just a remaster. And there's more they could have done with it. They could have added more content. They could have redone the cutscenes, so they're not just the regular PSP cutscenes, but blown up. But for what it is, for the price that it is, you know, and the fact that just it was actually warranted. It's not like the other garbage stuff that Square Enix has been doing, where like they're just trying to make money off of Final Fantasy VII. This one was actually warranted because this is a game that is really hard to get your hands on. You can only play it on PSP. Fans have been asking for a Crisis Core port for a long time. So, like, you know, it comes across as something that they did for us, not just to make more money off Final Fantasy VII, because it feels like almost everything they do recently is let's just make even more money off of Final Fantasy VII. And it's getting to the point where it's getting kind of ridiculous. Case in point, the special edition of Crisis Core was $20 extra, and it had a art book and a mini soundtrack, which I could have told you was going to be bad, before I even looked at it, because no one cares about mini art books. They look at it once and then never again, even physical ones. But at least physical ones are cool to keep. Digital ones, you look at it once and delete it, and you forget you own it. So those are a complete waste of money. And same with the digital soundtracks, because you can only listen to the songs on your PlayStation. So you look at it once and then you never look at it again. So $20 for two things that you're never going to use, pretty lame. But they're even more lame than I gave them credit for, because the art book was like 20 JPEGs. Like, it was nothing. And half of the JPEGs were lame. And the soundtrack was, I kid you not, 5 songs. I think. It was like 5 or 7, but I think it was 5. 5 songs. And these are songs you can only play on your PlayStation. 6? I was in the middle. 6 songs that you can only play on your PlayStation. Amazing, amazing. So worth the money. So that was pretty lame, but then, you know, whatever. Those are the only 2 copies, was the regular and then the special edition. But, you know, it rubbed me the wrong way, because at the same time, they announced the Pixel Remaster thing that we talked about last week. Which, if you missed my whole spiel about it, it's in the Crisis Core Let's Play. The Crisis Core Reunion Let's Play, but long story short, I'm not a big fan of the Pixel Remasters, but if you like the Pixel Remasters, that's great. I think there's a lot of reason to like them. I just personally don't really like them. But regardless of whether or not you like them or not, the $350 special edition for a group of games that have been out for a year plus is completely ridiculous. And the stuff you get in the special edition is laughable. Really bad. Like, you get a box and some pins, and basically you're paying $100 for 2 vinyls. Basically, the vinyls are the most expensive thing. So you're basically paying close to $200 for vinyls and some pins and stuff. And I say $200 because the game itself, even without the special edition, is $75, which is laughable. I imagine going to a GameStop and seeing like a PlayStation 4 game for $60, Mega Man Legacy Collection for $40, a PS5 game for $70, and then the Pixel Remaster Collection for $75. And going up to the GameStop employee and being like, hey, why is this game $75? And they're like, oh, well, it's a collection of 4 NES games and 2 SNES games. And you're like, but there's a collection of a bunch of NES games for $40, and there's the Sonic Genesis collection with like 20 Genesis games for like $20. Why is this $75? Like, how do you even defend that? You could buy Elden Ring for $70. Like, $75 for Final Fantasy 1 through 6. And it's not even the originals, it's redone. Like, it's completely ludicrous. So, yeah, it's just not right. It's not, and it just goes to show that they're just continuing to milk. I've just never seen a company milk a franchise so hard. Like, you know, you have stuff like Mario where it's like, yeah, they put Mario in everything, but to really make so many versions of the same thing and not really put in the effort to make any of it good. I mean, even the people that like the Pixel Remasters, you have to admit they are extremely low effort. I mean, extremely low effort. There's so much more they could have done with them. There was like the lowest effort possible to get, you know, to create those. And it's just wild. It's just wild that they would put it in a $350. And then, on top of that, the Final Fantasy XVI pre-orders come out, and that also has a $300+ special edition. And all you're really paying for that is the statue, which the statue is cool, but it makes it look a lot bigger than it is. It's actually like as big as my Aloy statue, which isn't back there anymore. I put it away, but it's like, you know, it's like something like this. And that's pretty much it. Like, everything else in the package is like nothing. So it's just, it's really, you know, and I always say this, and I want to make it perfectly clear. If you want to buy any of these special editions, that's totally up to you. It's your money. You spend it how you want. If it makes you happy, it makes you happy. I never want to make it sound like I think you're an idiot if you buy one of these things. I buy a lot of stupid crap too, because it makes me happy. That's fair. But, you know, it's just, it looks so bad when they're just constantly like, they cannot sell a game without trying to sell a $350 version, and it's because they know people will buy it, because people are attached to the series. And, you know, that's the whole thing with Ever Crisis too, is like, oh, we have all these fans that don't like the remake, well, let's make this remake for them. And they make Ever Crisis. So it just feels like everything they do is for dollar signs. And I know that shouldn't be surprising to me, but I just wish they would be more protective of the Final Fantasy license. Something like Nintendo with Legend of Zelda, you know? They could make a million Legend of Zelda properties and everyone would buy them, but instead they actually make just one good game. But with Square, it's always, how can we make more money off Final Fantasy VII? How can we make I know Vaughn is healing this guy, but I don't really want to unequip this weapon. How can we make a movie? How can we make an anime? How can we make a comic book? How can we sell this game that's been out for a year for $300? How can we resell Final Fantasy VII for the 900th time? I looked at one of the trailers for Ever Crisis, and the whole comment section was just like, Square Enix selling Final Fantasy VII again. It's like, I don't disagree. Like, that's the whole thing with Ever Crisis, is just, we ran out of ways to sell Final Fantasy VII, so let's just come up with another way to sell it. It's the Skyrim format, yeah. And it's just, I don't know, man. I'm okay with them doing, I mean, I was the one that was saying, we need a console version of the Pixel remasters. That was like the biggest deal with the Pixel remasters, is like, why are they not on console? So now they're coming to console. I should be happy about that, but not like this, you know? Not for more money than a cutting-edge PS5 game. At least, like, oh my god, at least make it 70. What are they thinking making it 75? At least at 70, people could be like, okay, standard PS5 price. Why is it 75? Did they really need that extra $5 on top? That's what blows my mind. Like, they just needed to make it even more expensive than a PS5 game. Like, they just could not sell it. And that's, you know, you could make the argument with stuff like Elden Ring, where it's like, oh, there were so many people behind this project that they have to make it $70, and video games are harder to make and they're more expensive to make, and we needed to up the price. You did not need $75 on the Pixel remasters. They're already done. They've already been done for a year. Like, there was no huge process to create the physical version of Pixel remasters. It, you know what I mean? Like, of all things, that's like the cheapest project they have going. So, like, it's unreal. It's unreal. They would have had that $5, like, And they know people are going to buy it, and they know people are going to buy the $350 special edition, too. So, it's just sad. It's just sad. I didn't hear about that Chocobo GP thing, but I'm not surprised. That's the worst game I've played in a long time. But yeah, no, that's what it is. It's like they manipulate the collectors because they know that they have such a huge, huge collector market. I mean, that's the reason they have freaking $70 plushes on their store, and they have all those like jewelry things on their store, and they have the official Final Fantasy VII figurines that are like $100 on their store. It all seems ridiculous, but it's all to manipulate the collectors. And that's just, you know, that's the way they do it. So yeah, I do have plans of one day playing all the Pixel remasters, especially now that they're coming to console. I want to get all the Platinum trophies. But I am not buying it on release. I refuse. I will buy it when it's cheaper. And one day we'll do an event where I play through the Pixel remasters. Begrudgingly. Because I'm not a very big fan of them, but it'll still be fun to play the games again, even if it is the Pixel remaster versions. And we'll probably like fly through them and get the plats, and that'll be a fun time. But I am not buying those on release. I am not buying the special edition. I mean, why would you buy the special edition? You get vinyls. If you really like vinyls, maybe. But I'm telling you, in 2 weeks, those vinyls are going to be $50 on eBay. And that is really all you get. That is truly all you get. You get like a box. You get a slipcover, a box, some pins, the vinyls. And like, that's it. It's crazy. You get like nothing. And the 16 special edition, you get like nothing also. You get a really ugly, in my opinion, ugly steel case. Which, for anyone looking to buy Final Fantasy XII, you get a special slipcase for pre-ordering at Best Buy for free. And it's really nice. The free Best Buy one is really cool looking. So, if you're looking to buy the 16 special edition, put that in your search. Be sure to check that out before you buy. Also, apparently, I think I heard something about the Pixel Remaster thing being like a limited release, but there's physical copies, so like I'll be able to get a physical copy somewhere somehow. Oh, and that, you know, that's the other thing. They drop these projects. If they put Pixel Remaster, if like the physical Pixel Remaster release, the console release has problems, you have to pray they'll fix it. Because they're already done with the Pixel Remasters. They don't care about them anymore. They're only putting them on console because they know people will buy them. They're not like, they don't care about the project anymore. Do you have like any other weapon you can use? I mean, I guess I could give you this for now. Just because he's starting to swing for a lot, and he heals him for a lot. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just all, it's all quite the frustration. I'm just sick of. And, you know, it puts a bad taste in my mouth for Ever Crisis. I really want to like Ever Crisis, but every time I see it, I just can't help but feel like it's, well, we need to make money off of Final Fantasy VII again, and this is the only way we could do it, is... And the way that all the trailers say, like, a new possibility for a remake. Like, come on, you're not fooling anyone. You're trying to catch the crowd that wanted a true remaster that never got it, and you're touting this as what they wanted, and it's not at all. If you are watching this and you're like, I wanted a remaster of Final Fantasy VII, I didn't want the remake, I wanted like just a one-to-one remaster of the original. Don't buy Ever Crisis. That's not what it is. They're selling it like it is, and it's not. Please don't buy it. It's worse than the remake. You're running around as Aerith with a wedding dress, and they're putting like first soldier stuff in it, and it's like, it's not even close. It's not a one-to-one. If you're interested in hearing the compilation of Final Fantasy VII in like a more compact way, instead of having to like watch my lore videos, and you just want to like experience the compilation all in one place, then it's a buy. But it's not a buy if you want a remaster, you know, another version of the remake. Like, that's not at all what it is. Not even close. It's Final Fantasy VII, the mobile game. And, you know, I mean, that's what it is. It's Final Fantasy VII, the mobile game. It's got mobile mechanics, it has microtransactions, it has skins. The combat is very mobile-like, where there's like just buttons at the bottom and you just press them. It's Final Fantasy VII, the mobile game. So if you want Final Fantasy VII, the mobile game, like if you like stuff like Record Keeper, where it kind of just like goes over the general lore of the games with melee, with like mobile combat in between, or you liked something like the Kingdom Hearts mobile game, then Ever Crisis is probably great. But don't let Square sell you on like, oh, it's another version of the remake. It's not. Not even close. Definitely not. I mean, that's fine. Like, don't get me wrong. If you just want more Final Fantasy content, you'll be pretty happy, because there's a lot coming. It's just the way, and I'm excited for some of this stuff too. It's just the way that they're handling it is frustrating. It's just frustrating the way they're handling it. And you know, we know they could do it right, because to be honest, Crisis Core was done right. They release it for a price that makes sense. They have a special edition that really isn't worth the money, but it's not like abhorrent. It was $70. It's not $300. So if you want to spend an extra $20, it's not going to break the bank. It's a straight remaster, but with a bunch of quality of life. They didn't try to sell it as something that it's not. They were like, hey, it's the PSP game. Even the cutscenes they showed in the trailers, it was like, look, this is the PSP game. It just looks a lot better now. Like, they didn't try to sell it as something it's not. Like, they really did a great job with Crisis Core, which is why it's so frustrating, because I know they can do it right, but they don't want to. They want to make all the money, which, you know, fair, but doesn't mean I'm not going to complain about it. Oh, you know what they should do? They should release a paid DLC for the original voice actors. Just like they did with the frickin' with Lightning Returns, where there was a paid DLC to get the Japanese voice actors. Like, those are the original voice actors, you idiots. Why are we paying for them? They'll do the same thing with Crisis. Oh, you don't like the new voice actors? You could pay $10 for what was on the PSP in, what was it, 2008 or something? You want some audio files from 2008? Pay up. Turn it into a subscription model. You know what? For now on, none of the Final Fantasies have voice actors, but you can sign up for our subscription service $30 a year and all your games get voice acting. This is the future, guys. Oh, we have to go 2 screens out. Come on, man. Sounds like... I mean, Fallout 76 already made you pay like $100 a year for a box you could put your loot in. So anything's possible at this point. At this point, anything is possible. I want to make sure I don't leave the area. I don't want to lose my chain. Do you think Square Enix will do another one of those? They've done it several times. They did it with Cup Noodle. They did it with Butterfingers. Go buy like 20 Butterfingers to get the rest of your game content. Hey guys, I just came back from 2030. I have to buy 6 packs of Reese's Pieces to get the voice acting in Final Fantasy 21. Every pack of Reese's Pieces gives me the voice acting for another character. Also, Ellsworth, thank you so much for the 22 months, man. Dude, I mean, it's just, and you know, I know there's some people that are like, it's a company, let them do the hustle. It's like, okay, I get that to a certain degree, but they knew what they were doing with the Butterfinger Tifa theme thing. It could have been anything else, but they made it a Tifa theme in particular, so that all the greasy gamers would go out and buy 50 boxes of Butterfingers. Like, come on. I'm both insulted and aroused. God dang it, Square. Pretty sure you can just buy that theme now. Yeah. Ripped all the people that thought that was the only way to get it. Ow. We're doing a big chain for money. We're chaining these big boys with the axes so I can get maggoty flesh, which I have 18 currently. Yeah, speaking of which, okay, I got. Can I give you... Wait. Oh yeah, that's right. We were power leveling both here too. Should I bring him in for a bit? Yeah, I'll bring him in for a little bit. But then I kind of want to level up Vaughn. Paint some MP. I mean, that's the other thing, too. The remake has been incredible in terms of not taking advantage of the fans. All they did was release it. They had the pre-order bonuses and the DLC, which was far worth the money. Like insanely worth the money. The only thing that kind of sucked was the whole DLC not on PS4. But, like, you could upgrade, but you couldn't upgrade the free version, and it was kind of confusing the way they did it. Like, overall, it was fine the way they did it, but it was just a bit confusing. They could have done it easier. Especially if they had just released it on PS4. Because after playing the DLC, I can tell you for sure it could have been on PS4, they just chose not to. There was nothing in the DLC that was like, oh, this can't happen on PS4. So that was kind of a shame, but other than that, like, you know, there's so much they could have done with the remake, and they chose to just not do it. And that's what's so annoying, is, like, they know how to make a game and not take advantage of the fans. And they knew that with the remake, they wanted it to look good. How's it going, Crixie? They wanted it to look good to the fans. They didn't want to take advantage of the fans with the remake. They wanted it to go down as like a project they could be proud of. But then why not with the pixel remasters? You see why this frustrates me so much? The pixel remasters are Final Fantasy 1 through 6, the games that put Square Enix on the map. Final Fantasy 1 literally saved their company. So why, with the remake, are they so hesitant to do anything, you know, to take advantage? But then with the pixel remasters, they're like, oh yeah, $350 vinyls. Oh yeah, put it only on PC. Oh, let's do a limited time release on console. Like, all these terrible practices with the games that literally saved their company. And most of their fans care about the most. Granted, they're the pixel remasters, not the actual originals, but that's the other problem. Where's the actual originals? Give me a collection of the actual originals. But no, it's all cash grab when it comes to Final Fantasy, with the exception of the remake for some reason. It's frustrating. Like, do your cash grabby stuff in Final Fantasy XIV. Do your cash grabby stuff with some of your other franchises. Leave the original Final Fantasies out there. But they know it'll work because a lot of collectors are of the older variety. And this is the exact thing that they want to collect, is the old games. You know? It's just a shame. But, you know, anyways, I talked a bit last week too about my dream scenario. And I really do want to make a video someday about my dream Final Fantasy game. I think it would be really fun to explore what I would make. Because I would make a Final Fantasy collection similar to like the Mega Man Legacy collection, where it's just a port of all the 6 original games. But I think you could go so much further with it. Like, if they wanted to just make a collection of the first 6 games, which, by the way, would not take much work. Whenever I see people argue about the original games, people say like, oh, didn't they lose the code or whatever? No, it's like, you can get 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 on the PS3 store right now. They exist. They're just on the PS3 store and separate, and the PS1 versions with bad load times. But it's all there. So, and the 3 is a DS game, so you can still get that. Or if not, you can remake 3 because you already did for the Pixel Remaster. Like, it's all there. I don't want to hear this. They probably lost the code. It would take too much work. No, it would take negative work. It would take so much less work than something like the Pixel Remaster. And it would sell like hotcakes. Everyone would buy it. A Final Fantasy Legacy Collection. And, you know, if I were Square and I was trying to make the most money possible, that's all I would do. Is just 1 through 6, port them on a disc, like Mega Man Legacy Collection, and sell it for a ridiculous amount of money. You know? If you wanted to be cool about it, make it $60 or even 50, like Legacy Collection. But you could sell it for 70 and people would buy it, 100%. 1 through 6, perfect ports of them, like actual ports, you could sell it for 70 if you really wanted to take advantage of everyone. But, you know, if it were me, I would make these like the most amazing collections ever. I would have multiple versions of each game. Final Fantasy 1, you could play the original NES version, you could play the PS1 version, you could play the Dawn of Souls version with the extra content. Final Fantasy 2, same thing, you could play the original, you could play the PS1, you could play the Dawn of Souls version. Final Fantasy 3, you could play the DS version, or the original version, or the Pixel Remaster version. Final Fantasy 4, you could play Japanese version versus English version. Like, I would have all the different versions on there that you could play. Then I would have a bunch of bonus content from the archives, because they have the giant archive books that they sell all the time, and they have all of that stuff on hand. Put all that stuff in there as bonus content. Put the old Final Fantasy commercials, like the hilarious Final Fantasy VI commercial with the Moogle in there. Have, you know, that would be your opportunity to do like a big collector's edition for $300. Maybe you could include the books in the collector's edition, the physical books that you already sell, just throw those into the collector's edition. You could have, like, there's so many things you could do. You could even put all the Pixel Remaster versions in there if you wanted to. You don't have to. I would just do 3, because that's the only one that's, like, you know, vastly different, but you could put those in there. There's so many different things you could do, and just have the Legacy Collection, you know, 1 through 6. And you could even include 7, 8, and 9, you could include the PS4 versions, because those you just literally just plop them in there. They're already PS4 versions, so you just plop them in there. You could have 2 versions. You could have the Legacy Collection, $60, 1 through 6, special, you know, special stuff included. Then you could have Legacy Collection Plus, because I know how much they love Plus. And you could have 1 through 6 plus 7, 8, and 9, the PS4 versions. Just throw them in, right? Because they already exist. Just throw them in, right? Then you could have, like, the Collector's Edition, which has 1 through 9, the special features, and then, like, the books and some other stuff. You know? The list goes on. You could have, like, a million, you know, I know how they love to have a million different versions. You could do a million different versions of it. You could have one that includes 10 remastered. You could 100%, you know, milk it if you wanted. But it could still be what the fans want, and you could still milk it. They put all that work into the 7, 8, and 9 quote-unquote remasters, the ports on PS4, and they don't do anything with them. Why was there never a collection of 7, 8, and 9? They had the 3 PS4 ports. Why did they never do like a little collection of those 3? Just, you know, one day, just throw it on the PlayStation Store. Hey, you can have them 3 for $10 less, or, you know. Yeah, but do they really sell a lot now? I'm pretty sure everyone that wanted them bought them in the first couple weeks. Yeah, and I admit, this whole debacle is part of the reason why I don't like the Pixel remasters. I'm very biased, I think. I think I've allowed this legacy collection that I have in my head, or just even having the ports on the PS4 store. The fact that they haven't done that yet just makes me look at the Pixel remasters and get frustrated, you know? If only they had just put those PS3 ports on the PS4 store and then released the Pixel remasters, I would have so much more appreciation for them. But because we don't have the ability to play 1 through 6 on anything other than the PS3, and they're the crappy PS1 versions with terrible load times, it just frustrates me that the Pixel remasters exist, because again, it's more work for less payoff. It's more work for something that people really don't care about. They're just playing them to play the original games. They don't care that the pixels look a bit nicer. The music is redone, like no one cares. Everyone that I've talked to that plays the Pixel remasters, they play them because they want to play the originals, not because they want to specifically play the Pixel remasters. With the exception of 3, which is genuinely a good port because it's the only way to play the original Japanese version. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. What a shame. Balthair's already 24. Where'd you come from? Yeah, you know, what a concept. Create the Pixel remasters in a way like Dragon Quest, where you can press a button and it swaps to the original again. Or Diablo 2, where you press a button and it swaps to the original. Imagine Square Enix actually putting that much work into the biggest series they own. The series they're known for. Imagine them actually putting effort in. Grieving, thank you for the 13 months. And yet, thank you for the gifted sub to Crixie. Yeah, too much money. Meanwhile, they're making like $1 bajillion off 14, and now they're trying to sell NFTs and make more money. Come on, guys. We just have to buy Square Enix's NFTs, and then they'll have enough money to make a Legacy Collection. That's the deal. I'm sure if we buy their NFTs, they'll make what we want. I'm sure of it. Just gotta trust in the process. Don't say that, Swirly. It's not true. Hopium. They would never do that to us. Game's going good. We're doing a big chain right now to make a bunch of money. We only have 4 hours to play today because we're going to go back to Crisis Core after this. Try to finish off the post-game. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then, once we're done with the post-game, we'll be done with the Let's Play. How did I survive that? And we can move on to doing the platinum in a hard. We're gonna do a hard playthrough. We're gonna do a 100% hard playthrough. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that on Twitter, where everyone was like, "Oh my God, there's a Parasite Eve copyright. They're gonna do Parasite Eve," and then it was NFTs. Wait. That makes me so happy to hear that Chocobo GP is shutting down. I might have to get McDonald's later in celebration. Speaking of going outside my house, guess what I won't be doing this weekend? Going outside my house. We had a huge winter storm. My wife was smart enough to do her final Christmas shopping. Not like Christmas store shop, like gift shopping, but like we're doing Christmas, the family Christmas at our house. We had to buy like food and everything to get ready for the day. She did it all yesterday because we had this huge winter storm come through last night, and probably not going to be leaving our house all weekend. It actually wasn't as bad as they said it was going to be. Like, I could definitely leave the house and drive and be fine, but we definitely got hit. There's snow on the ground. There was really big wind gusts. My inflatable Snoopy ended up halfway across the yard. R.I.P. Snoopy. So yeah, we're probably chilling all weekend. It's nice that we got some snow for Christmas, because it's been a warm winter. But then the weekend of Christmas, we get big snowstorms, so that's kind of neat, but also sucks for anyone that's traveling for Christmas. I saw my snow, now I'm going back to the beach. I have a personal gripe with Record Keeper. I really enjoyed the game at first, and I contacted the developer and was like, "Hey, I'll like help you promote this for free because I like it, and like it would be fun to promote it with you." And they said no. Like, most of the time, you know, I try to contact a lot of indie developers to, like, try to help them and say, like, hey, I'll do QA for you, or, like, you know, play it on stream or whatever, just, like, help you out. Games that I actually like and, you know, want to support. And I never get responses. Never hear anything back, which is a shame, because, like, I know these companies. Like, I'm pretty sure I emailed Team Cherry about Hollow Knight, and I never heard a response. But then I got a robot response, or a robot email from a company they hired to support their game, saying, like, we'll pay you blah 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 to play the demo. And I'm like, I don't want you to pay me. I just want a connection with the actual developers, and I'll do it for free. Like, just give me an email. I don't want your robot emails. So that was a shame. And I contact a lot of other indie developers, and I never hear anything back. But Record Keeper, I emailed them, and I heard back from them. But the answer was no. And I was like, why would you say no? And then I see people getting paid to support the... Like, I'm pretty sure I saw some YouTubers talk about Record Keeper. Like, you know, get sponsorships to talk about Record Keeper. I do not know that for sure, but I'm pretty sure I saw some. And I'm like, bro, what the heck? So I have kind of an unfair gripe against Record Keeper for that. You think that's what it was? They wanted to control the narrative? They didn't want me make it... I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Because I could make content about it anyways. Whether or not I have their blessing, I could make content. I could make a bunch of videos saying it sucks and they can't do anything about it. The fact that I contacted them and said I want to make content about your game, that should say enough that it's good content. And if not, I'm going to make it anyways, so why not be a part of it, right? That doesn't make any sense. I'll be more inclined to say nice things about it if they're supporting me, right? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but I'd be more inclined to be nicer. Even if I have issues with it, I'm not gonna be like, these developers suck at their job if I have a personal connection with them. I'm gonna be like, hey, this is a problem and they should fix it, maybe. I'll be nicer, you know? I would say it with a nicer tone. And if I don't have their blessing, then when I make the video, I might be like, hey, these developers suck. So I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. There. Alright, let's... I mean, that's what I'm doing right now, so I'm getting Balthier up to a level where he's usable, but... I mean, why would I use those three characters? These are the three characters I use for every fight. Maybe post-game when I need 6 characters in order to beat things. But why would I take the time to level these 3 characters up to level 40 when every boss I've fought I've beaten? Like, why would I do that? What would be the incentive to level up a bunch of bad characters when I've not had any issue with any of the bosses so far? Like, just stop the playthrough and do like a huge grinding session to get all them up to 40 when I've had no issues up to this point. Why would I need a well-rounded team? I'm beating all of the bosses. I am succeeding in my quest. I don't need to stop everything and grind. Well, I do for money, but not for that. Like, no, you don't understand. I get the reason why you would want to. I'm saying, why would I, in this playthrough right now, stop what I'm doing and play with a bunch of level 10 characters? I get that it's good to have 6 leveled characters. My question is, why would I do it right now in this playthrough? When I've not had any issues so far. When I get to post-game and bosses start smashing me, then I'll be like, okay, let's weigh my options. Maybe getting my other characters to a high level will help me, and then that's when I'll decide to do it. I play RPGs in a way where I don't do things until I need to, because that makes the game more fun, because it's more challenging. Sometimes it's hard for, like, completionists or, like, super grinders to watch my Let's Plays, because they're like, why is he not stopping everything and getting everyone to level 99 and maxing out his guild counter and maxing out all of his materia and getting every single chest in every area before moving on? Which, like, yes, sometimes I play that way, but for the most part, I try to keep it challenging by keeping the pace, you know. Once we get to endgame, sure, like, min-maxing is fun, but I'm not trying to min-max during the story. Especially for these Let's Plays, because I want to be able to have, like, a nice generalized opinion of the game. If I get to level 99 in the second area, I'm not going to have a generalized idea of how difficult the game was. I'm going to be like, wow, this game was easy. So, like, for the Let's Plays, I want a more casual experience of the game. I mean, is it not normal to pick, like, a main party and stick with them in most games? Like, is this not the norm? Does everyone, like, level all the characters completely evenly throughout the main story? Because I was under the impression that's, like, more of a rare thing to do. That's more of the outlier. Right, so I guess what I'm saying is you shouldn't be that shocked that I'm doing it this way.
Yeah.
Almost up to 100. Yeah, that's why I leveled up Balthair to 27, so when I bring him out, he doesn't just immediately die. He might still immediately die. 27 still isn't that high, but that's why I did that. Also. I think Bosch is my least favorite character, actually. I don't really like him. He's just kind of there. I feel like he could be cooler, but he, like, never talks, and when he does, it's the same crap. It's always just like, I'll protect you, princess, and people hate me, and I'll do my duty. I don't really like his look either. He just looks like stereotypical guy from this era. I don't know, there's just nothing that really sticks out with him for me. gonna do this for a little bit. Because Fran always has a ton of MP. And I think having 2 people casting Kira, if we're low, might help. I'm kind of supposed to be the one healing us, but I can always do it if they're low on MP. This chain spot is really freaking good. Like, really freaking good. I got 55 fleshes. About to make bank. Yeah, that's how 15 goes. If you have a potion in your inventory, you can't lose. It's a pretty great... some great tech. I have to hold my opinions of 15 until we get there, okay? That's my time to shine. Until then, I have to keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna annoy everyone with all of my complaints about 15, so I gotta wait till we get there.